So yesterday we posted a press statement from the Ghana Ministry of Information here on our YouTube community tab, which stated that the Ghana President, Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has allowed his Finance Minister, Ofori-Atta, to begin formal engagement with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to support the country's economy. The Minister for Information, Honorable Addo Dankwa, has also come out with some reason why Ghana is seeking help from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. But before we listen to Honorable Addo Dankwa's reason, we want to share with you a very quick one on some reason Ghana need help from the IMF as soon as possible. At the time we were recording this particular video, $1 was equivalent to 8 cedis 7 pesos. This is what we call currency devaluation. According to the World Bank, this is the highest since December 2016, and because of that, prices of commodities are increasing in the country daily. Currency devaluation or higher inflation is really affecting so many African currencies because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent Russia-Ukraine conflict. This is because as a continent, we don't have a good or strong financial economic architecture. And again, we don't have any single common currency to trade among ourselves. So we always depend on the power of the euro and the United States dollars. According to a report by graphicghana.com, Ghana's economy grew by 3.3% in the first quarter of this year 2022 compared to the same period in 2021. But inflation surged to a record of 27.6% in May. Aside from this, Ghana's public debt stock shot up by 40.1 billion Ghana cedis to 391 billion Ghana cedis as of the end of March 2022. This means that the country is grappling with higher debt. They introduced a tax on all electronic transactions in the country, e-levy, which was aimed at relieving some burden of the government. But just last week, a report came out that the e-levy is not generating even 1% of the estimated amount. So this means that the e-levy has also failed. And the next option for the country is to seek help from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. But in case you don't know what IMF is and what they do, then the IMF is an international organization that promotes global economic growth and financial stability. They also encourages international trade and reduce poverty. The IMF provides financial help to countries only if they agree to implement a series of economic policy reforms to revive and maintain a sustainable economic growth rate in the long term. So now that we know what the IMF is and what they do, let's look at some Ghana's IMF history. In April 2015, Ghana turned to the IMF for a 918 million loan to support its currency and also to help stabilize the country's economy. The IMF advisor working with the government developed a three-part program to restore debt sustainability, strengthen monetary policy, and clean up the banking system. And in December 2018, Ghana exited the IMF program. And now, in 2022, Ghana is returning back to the IMF again. Let's listen to Honorable Addo Dankwa, who is Ghana's Information Minister, on why Ghana is going back to the IMF to seek support economically. But before that, please, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Ghana videos like this. Thank you very much for liking. Enjoy.
Honorable Minister, when people see the street and say they are hungry, what do you tell them?
I tell them that I understand what you are talking about because the general cost of living has gone up. My wife tells me every time about how the same amount of money that a month ago could keep the house can no longer keep the house because the prices of food, transportation, many basic items have gone up, and that increase is also leading to an increase in general price levels. Because if general prices have gone up, then people also increase their charges for all of the other things around us. And we are clear in our minds why we are having a cost of living crisis. We're having a cost of living crisis globally for two reasons. 2020, when Ghanaians were calling for lock us down, lock us down, lock us down, the implication of a lockdown even for a month is that economic activity grinds to a halt. The woman who sells breakfast here and the one who sells Indomie at the other junction. They couldn't even come to work. They couldn't earn anything. So their financial position was going to reduce. They were going to be worse off. Multiply that by the 33 million people across the country and take out just the few people who could work essential services for even that 1 month period. And now look at the entire globe as countries were shutting down. So you have supply chain challenges. Therefore, inflation is going up all around the world because there are limited products being produced as against before, and therefore prices are going up. Locally, what is happening to governments is that once the economy cringes, the revenue you expect, you are not getting it. Meanwhile, there are expenditures that you have committed to that you must pay. In the US, for example, they furloughed government workers. They said, you can't continue earning the same salary that you earn every time. Because now government is having a tough time, we are shutting down, so you can only earn a certain small percentage of your salary.
So wage went down in America, federal wages?
Yes. In the US, they furloughed. In Ghana, we never did. Every government worker got paid what they had to be paid.
And asked them not to pay water.
We then added because water was necessary to protect ourselves against COVID. We added electricity for a period. There were a lot of things that we did on the expenditure side, in addition to our traditional expenses. Prior to that, 2017 to 2019, the Ghanaian economy had been doing very well. Now, when we did all of this in 2020, bam, that was the first shock. So you notice that our performance in 2020 was terrible. 2021, we started recovering. We were hopeful that 2022, we're going to be able to recover a bit faster. And then Russia-Ukraine hits us in the first quarter of the year. So in March, government warned that looking at the signals on the global scene, 3 things are happening. You are getting a fuel crisis coming. You are getting a food crisis coming because a lot of food items and even the fertilizer for general agriculture is coming from this same area, in addition to the fuel. And then when Europe and America start imposing sanctions and Russia starts reacting, global financing will be difficult to come by. So you're going to have a finance crisis. So 3 crises: FFF, fuel, food, finance. It's going to hit us. So government in March introduced a number of measures aimed at mitigating the impact of these things that were going to hit us. We are in a place where we are now assessing how well these measures have done. The numbers don't look good. And that is why you're already beginning to hear, some persons, economists, lecturers, politicians say, listen, you can't solve it with your homegrown solutions. Go for assistance from the International Monetary Fund so that you can be in a better place to deal with the fiscal challenges. And once you deal with that, you can now come back to use the fiscally improved position to try and improve the economic situation in which we are as a country. There's a lot of discussion going on in government currently as we look at the numbers. Yesterday we met with traders and transporters of food items. Today there was a lot of work at the Finance Ministry looking at all the numbers and all the revenue handles that are coming in. I think that will continue till tomorrow. By Thursday we're going to Cabinet to put the latest findings before the President and his advisors and try and get a sense of where we're going. By the time we hit mid-year, we would have made a categorical decision.
Mid-year, we're already here.
Well, when I say mid-year, I mean the mid-year budget review, which is about 3 weeks away.
Okay.
We would have made a categorical decision on how we need to recalibrate the fiscal and the economic policies to get Ghana onto a certain preferred track. And we can tell the people of Ghana where we are by that time.
We will follow everything about this issue and we will present them to you as it is. Thanks very much for watching. My name is Sheriff Haruna. Have a joyful day and see you in our next video. Don't forget to let us know your thoughts and suggestions also inside the comment section below. Mackerel.